In this video, we're going to talk about lambdas and named procedures. It's one of the things that sometimes students get confused with in Scheme. So we'll go over what a lambda is, and then we'll talk about the difference between an unnamed versus a named procedure. So in this Scheme file, you can see that I have a lambda defined. And if I run this, you can see that that evaluates to a procedure. So the result of evaluating this Scheme form is a procedure. And then we can use this lambda with actual parameters. The way we do that is we use the exact same code that we had before. Remember, that structure right there evaluates to a procedure, and then we're going to pass the actual parameters 4 and 7. And now if I execute that, you see I get 65, which is 4 squared plus 7 squared. Now this is a reasonable enough function that we may want to use it again in the future, so it makes sense to give it a name. We use this keyword define to associate a name with something in Scheme. In order to give it a name, we'll use the keyword define, then the name. And now, whatever we put here is going to get associated with the name sum of squares. So it makes sense to use the same lambda we've done before. And you may notice that I structured this slightly different. In general, I like to put things on multiple lines when I'm defining something more complicated. So a single lambda, sometimes I'll put that on a single line, but again, that's just a style preference. And so now that we've defined this name, we can do the same thing we did before, but now we can use the name sum of squares. And now when I run this, you can see that it evaluates the same way. So just to review, here we have a lambda that evaluates to just a function. Of course, just a function by itself doesn't help us. We want to apply that function to some parameters. So here we use the same function and apply it to 2 parameters. Of course, this gets tedious to do this over and over. And so if it's a function that we're going to come back to and use a lot, then we may want to assign it a name, which we can use using define. After we've associated that name to the function, we can use that name to actually invoke that function going forward.